So this is what leg day looks like for someone with a very severe kyphosis and scoliosis. I'm using the trap bar here. I prefer this for not directly loading weight on the spine. As I started the movement, I felt like there was some kinks in my chain, which happen a lot, and they're actually the biggest challenge when it comes to dealing with a compromised spine like a kyphosis or a kyphosis. Our entire chain isn't working together. And so I'm right here squeezing a towel with my toes. I'm going to fix the exposure of the camera in a second, but what I'm doing with the toes here is activating my feet to really feel the ground. I'm generating and stimulating this type of movement as I'm doing the lift because that's where I'm generating the beginning of the force from. I'm starting to torque this movement from the feet up, and this is really important, like especially when we're moving into these types of movements. And this is why I haven't done many of these in a very long time, is because I've been getting aligned and getting this entire kind of chain of my body to work together. So right here, feeling the weight in my toes, in my feet, and then lifting from there. For many years, I trained without this kind of awareness, and I cemented in a lot of tightness and compression into my body and my posture. When you have a structural compromise like a scoliosis or a kyphosis, your body naturally creates a brace. Your hamstrings, your lower back go to work when in reality it should have been your glutes doing the work. That's a very common one that I see other parts of the body creating and bracing when they weren't originally designed to do that. So I've spent many years undoing that compensated strength that I had, and that feels like getting weaker for a time. It feels like, you're unraveling, you're paying attention to other things, you're not getting the strength gains. But more importantly, what you're doing is that you're starting to build your foundation stronger. So now I can actually get my glutes engaged as they should be in a movement like this. I'm able to create more elongation throughout my spine as I'm doing a movement like this, as opposed to just working with whatever compensated strength I have. Now, I avoid bar squats because placing the bar on top of the spine, right above the shoulders there, is not ideal for my situation. I want to have freedom for that part of my body to be able to move, to have more mobility. I've spent many years now unraveling and aligning. Fortifying and strength has not been my priority, but I am shifting into more fortification and more strength with movements like this. I finally feel my entire chain working together, instead of what was happening before, which was random parts of my body firing off and not really having that synchronized, coordinated chain of strength through the body. I'm paying more attention to my calf muscles. The calves are our second heart. When we walk and contract the calf muscles, we're circulating and pumping blood throughout our body. This is obviously very important. Don't underestimate walking as a key part of health. Walking is feeding nutrients to the brain. It's circulating energy, blood, nutrients to the brain itself. So when I'm focusing on lower body, one of my main workouts right now are these lunge slams. These are deceivingly challenging depending on where you are at with your body. But for me, they have provided profound education in a few different areas. So each step here is requiring mobility, balance, strength, force production, and then obviously coming back is even a bit more challenging. So you'll notice when I lift the ball above my head that my body is going into extension. The same way if I'm hanging from the bar and I swing and I want to create tension while my body's in extension, it's the same line that we're activating through this, and that's that coordination that I'm looking for. And being able to generate force through that line is important to me. Being able to have stability through each one of these steps. You're seeing these wobbles, you're seeing the knee move left and right a little bit. Those things are what I'm learning. Those things are what I'm training here. I want smooth, slow, steady, buttery movements through here. And because, obviously I have a pretty severe imbalance going on, that's a challenge. But the practice here, the training here is to create that stability and to create that force production, to create that power through different stages of this movement. This right here is connecting with the myofascial arm bands and the spiral bands. So combining the spiral bands, which go from the toes up the front and the back of the legs, and then crisscross along the back and the front of our bodies, over our scalp, as well as down along our arms. So pay attention to the way that I'm facing each hand. I'm creating a torque by rotating the hands in different directions. This to me allows me to liberate restrictions and tensions that I come across as I go through this movement. This is a whole new way to approach kind of working out. This isn't like, 3 sets of 10 lunges. This is connect with your body. Listen to what's going on. Where do you have freedom? Where do you have restriction? Where do you have parts of your body that you aren't able to wiggle? And why is that? Why is that tension there? And then let's put that body into a position, into a pose that allows that freedom to be created. I mean, that's exactly what the girl on the left is doing right here, feeling out in her own way that freedom of movement. So instead of a certain number of reps, listen to your body, be kind to it, give it what it needs, find your edge, and approach that with caution and care and patience. So just like the calves, I'm also bringing more attention to my neck right now. I'm placing a light weight on a towel to create some resistance as I explore the range of motion that I have. I'm still very much in a learning process here. With the fixed structural curve in my back, you can see how the bench can make it difficult for certain kind of movements, and the way that kind of causes lordosis and the kyphosis in other parts of my spine. It does feel like working against a brick wall. But I know with patience and consistency, continuing to show up, whatever gains are available, I'm going to get them. So I wasn't feeling as much benefit from the weight with those neck extensions, although I know that's good for neck strength. I did, however, start feeling some amazing results from this one here with the decline bench. So very subtle what I'm doing here. But as I begin to lift my head, the first muscle or the first part of my body that begins to engage is kind of the psoas and the lower abdominal muscles, which are a key part of the postural pyramid, right? The lower abdominals, the glutes, and the mid-thoracic create this triangle of tension that we can use to elongate and align our posture. And so in this position right here, when I begin to tilt my head up, the lower abdominals engage. And so this position allowed me to really get a nice elongating type of movement here. And I'm exploring. I'm getting to know this. When I find a new way to access deep parts of me, I'm exploring. I'm looking at, okay, where is the tension that I'm holding that I'm not aware of? Because as soon as I become aware of that tension, I'm able to release it. So continuing to work on the coordination of my back chain, I'm doing a Nordic curl here. So by weighing down the ankles, I want to get this fall to be as slow as possible. A lot of work to do, obviously, on this one. A straight back chain is obviously a lot easier to generate strength and structural integrity through this movement, but that's fun. Why not have a go? Let's challenge ourselves. Let's see what's possible. Okay, this is a great anti-kyphotic shoulder movement and shoulder strength exercise. Putting the ankle band around the elbow here and putting it behind my body, so the pulley is behind my body. It's creating the strength from a position of the shoulder being back more, which I found has been really helpful. Okay, leg curls here, activating, a nice part of the hamstring, which again can get pretty dysfunctional if our body's creating a natural brace to prevent a scoliosis or a kyphosis from collapsing. So this one is great for training, educating, re-educating the body to restore its ability to tense and relax that part of our body when it needs to. Okay, finishing up with a 30-second testosterone boosting sprint, an all-out sprint, activating the primal part of us that goes into war mode. When we're in a situation that requires for it, our body releases the chemicals that it needs to become the person it needs to be in that situation. So when you start sprinting, I think the body is like, all right, it's war mode. Let's go. And so I'm enjoying just these 30-second sprints to engage that mode. As I was cooling down, I decided to get a couple steps in of a low crouching walk, which is extremely challenging for me, obviously given the structural challenges here, but that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm looking to find where my restrictions are, and I'm practicing movement through those restrictions. If you want to be functional in something, then do that thing. Re-educate your body with that function.
All right, that was a wet one. I got here in the rain, but absolutely love that one. That was a 10 out of 10 workout. A few new moves in there for me. I reckon if you have pointers or if you're doing exercises that you have found tremendous results in, drop them in the comments. I'll try them out. Even better, head over to posturedojo.com and leave your comments there. There we can have an actual conversation. Comments all over social media, they get really limited. I'm trying to explain one guy what tensegrity and myofascial bands are in the comment section on Instagram, and it's next to impossible. So that's why I have this community. You can get access in that community to the Heightmaxxing protocol, which is a 12-week psychosomatic holistic posture correction protocol. I want to make this thing the greatest resource in the world for anyone with a compromised spine like a scoliosis or a kyphosis. It's exactly what I wish I had as a teenager, realizing that I need to do something, but not really told who or how or what. And this is everything. The Heightmaxxing protocol. Check it out. You can scan this QR code right here as well. Click like, click subscribe. It helps out the channel. We're going to get into some more interesting challenges as we go. Get into it. Get up, onwards, upwards. See you in the next one.